Welcome to another live stream, my episode of my live stream, my journey to the Trinity. Whenever I point, I never point right. It's my journey to the Trinity. And today I kind of wanted to just look at what it says about the third Caliph, Uthman. As I'm sure you know, the Muhammad, there was the first Caliph, Khalifa, uh, Abu Bakr, and then after Abu Bakr was Omar, and after Omar was Uthman. And Uthman is particularly significant because of his impact on the Quran, because of what he did in regard to the Quran. And so I just wanted to look at some of the hadith uh, about Uthman in regard to the Quran. But right before, and I got to say that the reason I'm doing this is because I keep going back to what we were taught about the Quran. Okay, what we were taught is that it's the perfect, preserved word of Allah. They came down, never been changed. The gospel's been changed, the Torah's been changed according to Islam, but the Quran was never changed. It cannot be changed. It is preserved according to the Quran, chapter 15, verse 9. إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَنَحْنُ لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. We sent down the reminder and we preserve it. And that's what I was taught when I was a Muslim, and I believed it with all my heart, was willing to die for it, like most Muslims are willing to die for their belief that the Quran is unchanging, unchangeable. Nobody can change the Quran. Nobody can change it because Allah preserves it, according to Islam. And yet, if we look at the way the Quran was compiled, if we look at the history of the Quran, there's a lot of questions. There are a lot of questions, and I'm going to ask a lot of questions. And I would love for some Muslims to answer these questions. I have many Muslim relatives. I have Muslim cousins. I have Muslim siblings. I would like them to answer some of these questions for me. Please go find the answers. I'm going to ask some questions. I want you to find some answers. And I'm going to write down these questions because I really am waiting to hear from shuyukh. You know, I'll tell you the truth. The sheikhs don't answer Christians. The sheikhs, the teachers, whenever you ask sometimes the Muslim in question, what they'll say is, I'm not a sheikh, Well, okay, well then bring me your sheikh. But the sheikhs don't answer. They don't say nothing. They don't answer us. They don't come on. They don't talk to us. We could ask a million questions. I know Father Zechariah has, for, 30, 40, none of them dare to come answer. None of them dare to come on live with him. And so anyway, but I'm going to ask some questions, and these are just my own questions. True story there, Michael. So I'm just going to ask the questions. I'm waiting for an answer. Okay. Now we're going to read hadith. I'm not coming with stuff from the air. I'm reading the hadith, and based on the hadith, I'm going to ask you some questions. I want you to answer these questions for me, okay? Because I got a lot of questions. Bring me your imams and sheikhs. A goat ate my Quran. You know what, though? Don't be Islamophobic, because it does not say that Allah would preserve the Quran from goats. It never says specifically that he would preserve it from goats. Those two verses, the breastfeeding and the stoning of adulteresses that were underneath Aisha's bed. So you get, I wasn't even going to talk about that today, but, it fits perfectly with what I'm talking about today. So first of all, you guys, I want to look at how the Quran was compiled at the very beginning. At the very beginning, I want to look at how the Quran was compiled, okay? Let's look at, let's look at this. I believe this is it. I believe this is it right here. Okay. Now, this is, you guys, this is a very important story. And this is one of the basic stories about the compilation of the Quran. Yes. Okay. This is one of the basic stories in the most trusted sources, Sahih al-Bukhari, the number one source of hadith. So let's just read this. And based on this, I have some questions. I have some questions. I want a sheikh. I want a sheikh. I want Ala. I want Radwan Allah. I want Mustafa Speaks. I want one of these experts in Islam to come and answer me. I want one of my relatives who never talk to me, all my cousins who are ignoring me. I want you to come on and answer these questions. Even siblings, come. Ahlo sahla bikum. Okay, let's read it together, and I'm gonna ask you some questions based on it. Okay. Okay, let's look at this. This is Abu Bakr. Okay, this is when the Quran was first compiled, you guys. Okay. Narrated by Zayd ibn Thabit al-Ansari. Now, just for those of you who don't know, Zayd ibn Thabit was Jewish. He converted to Islam, and he was like a writer, a scribe. And so he was the one who, at the time of what we're talking about, there was no Quran. Muhammad had died. When Muhammad died, there was no Quran. You know, and I guess we could say, you know, if you ask Muslims, was there Quran in Muhammad's time? They're going to say, absolutely, there was the Quran, but, you know, the book, but there wasn't. Okay, there was no Quran when Muhammad died. In fact, Muhammad didn't even want the written Quran, according to this hadith. Let's read it together, and I'm going to show you. I got so many questions, you guys. I got so many questions about this because, and I'm telling you, because I was a Muslim, I know what I was taught in school. I know what I was taught by my relatives. We were taught the Quran is one, perfect, preserved, unchanging. Nobody can change it. That's what I was taught. And it's the same from what came down from Jibreel to Muhammad to the Sahaba to humanity. But then you read this story. This is after Muhammad died. Okay, this is after Muhammad died. Let's read it. Okay, narrated by Zayd ibn Thabit al-Ansari, who was one who used to write the divine revelation. Okay, now this is the story. Abu Bakr, now that's the first caliph, the father of Muhammad's wife Aisha. Abu Bakr sent for me after heavy casualties among the warriors of the Battle of Yamama, where a great number of Qurra were killed. Quran being the memorizers, those who have memorized the Quran. Okay, so the Quran was memorized. Okay, but a great number of the Quran were killed. In fact, I read that there was like 450 Quran, you know, memorized people who had memorized the Quran. They were killed in this battle, in the Battle of Yamama. And this is very important, you guys. This story because it's in your books. Umar was present with Abu Bakr, who said, Umar has come to me and said, the people have suffered heavy casualties on the day of the Battle of Yamama, and I am afraid that there will be more casualties among the Qurra. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can read it. Okay. I'm afraid there's going to be more casualty among the Qur'an, among the memorizers, those who had known the Qur'an by heart, at other battlefields, whereby a large part of the Qur'an may be lost. Okay, this is what Umar said. I'm afraid there will be more casualties among the Qur'an, those who know the Qur'an by heart, at other battlefields, whereby a large part of the Qur'an may be lost unless you collect it. Okay, now I want a sheikh. I need a sheikh. Okay, I need a sheikh because this is my first question. Okay, I need a sheikh. Can a sheikh come on and please answer? Tell me this. How can a part of the Quran be lost when Allah preserves it? How can, so what Umar bin Khattab, the second caliph, is telling the first caliph, Abu Bakr, he's telling him, if more, because 450 qari, you know, the Qur'an, the memorizers, reciters died in this battle. And so Omar says to Abu Bakr, I'm afraid there's going to be more, and the Quran may be lost unless you collect it. Okay, now this goes against what I was taught. This goes against what I was taught, because I was taught from Surah 15, Ayah 15 من القرآن إنا نحن نزلنا الذكر وإنا نحن لحافظون. We sent down according to Muslims, the Quran, and we preserve it. It doesn't say Quran, it says dhikr, which is the reminder, which applies to the Torah and the Zabur and the Injil. But Muslims believe this verse applies to the Quran. So my question is, how could Quran be lost? If Allah preserves it, how could the two caliphs, not one, two caliphs, okay, how, I want you to jive this with me. Sheikh, this is my first question. Go ask a sheikh. If you know another sheikh who can come on and answer me, I want to hear it. Okay, how could two caliphs, not one, this is between Umar and Abu Bakr, the first and second caliph, both of them were involved in this. How could two caliphs, not one, two caliphs, say that the Quran may be lost? How could that be? I thought the Quran was from the Lawh al-Mahfuz, sent down, perfectly preserved by Allah, impossible to be changed, impossible to be lost, because it's Allah preserves it. Doesn't Allah preserve the Quran? If Allah preserves the Quran, how could it be lost? How could the Quran, that if more of those qadis died, according to Umar bin Khattab, he says, Quran, a large part of the Quran may be lost unless you collect it. So is the Quran preserved by Allah? Okay, this is my second question. Unless you collect it. Unless you collect it? I mean, is the Quran preserved by you collecting it or by Allah preserving it? Because I was told that Allah preserves it. I was told Allah preserves the Quran. But how come here Umar bin Khattab says a large part of the Quran may be lost unless you collect it? Please explain. Please اشرح لي شو معنى. أنا فكرت الله بيحفظ القرآن. الله اللي نحن اللي حافظون. الله بيحفظ القرآن ولا عمر بن الخطاب؟ عشان عمر بن الخطاب بيقول هين إذا ما بنجمع القرآن جزء كبير نخسر. A large part of the Quran may be lost. You guys, these are the first two caliphs. This isn't just Joe Schmo. This isn't just Joe Schmo off the street. These are the first two caliphs. Ma'kul? We were told that it was perfectly preserved. We were told that Allah sent it down. How could it be lost? That's what I want. I want a sheikh to come on. Please bring me a sheikh. Bring me a mufti. Bring me a mufti. You know, like that song, Send Me an Angel, send me a mufti. Send me a mufti to explain this to me. And I want them to tell me why they tell people that the Quran is perfectly preserved. I want them to tell me why people are told the Quran is perfect and perfectly preserved and unchanged, because I know they're still teaching people that. But here, Umar bin Khattab, a few years after Muhammad died, and Abu Bakr, the first two caliphs, are saying, dude, we're going to lose the Quran. Really? They're saying we're going to lose the Quran? Does that fit into the narrative? Does that fit into the narrative that the Quran was sent down and perfectly preserved by Allah? I don't think so. So that's my first two questions. Number one, how could two caliphs say the Quran may be lost when that contradicts what the Quran says? And then how could Umar bin Khattab say that unless you collect it, it'll be lost? How could he say that as if man preserves, man protects the Quran, not Allah? That's a question, you guys. I want a sheikh to come answer me. Let's continue and read what Umar bin Khattab said. And I am of the opinion that you should collect the Quran, Abu Bakr added. Abu Bakr added, I am of the opinion that you should collect the Quran. I said to Umar, how can I do? Okay, now this is Zayd bin Thabit. How can I do something that Allah's apostle has not done? So Allah's apostle did not collect the Quran. Zayd bin Thabit is saying, how could I do something that Allah's apostle has not done? And then Umar said to me, by Allah, it is a really good thing. So now Umar says, it is a really good thing, even though Muhammad didn't say it. Umar said it. So Umar kept on pressing, trying to persuade to accept his proposal. Or Zayd was sitting and walking. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. How could it be? How could it be that it would say the Quran? Okay. What does that mean, look for the Quran? Where are they supposed to look? Okay. By Allah, if he, Abu Bakr, had, sorry, shoot. Okay. I know. Hey, you a sheikh? Are you a sheikh? Because if you are, I want you to come on. Okay. Dude, sorry, you guys. I just lost. I just lost the. Okay. Okay. Sorry, you guys. Just give me 1 second here. I got to go back now, and I got to find, because I just lost the hadith because of this. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Darn it. Sorry, you guys. This is a pain. Sorry about this. This happens a lot, unfortunately, with my weak internet. Dude, where is it? Okay, let's see if this is it right here. Okay, this isn't the one that I had, but okay, yeah, I think this may be it here, you guys. Sorry about this, you guys. It's such a pain. It happens so much too, unfortunately. Okay, so Zayd ibn Thabit is saying, how can I do something that Allah has not commanded till open up Allah heart? Okay, and opinion. Okay. To me. Okay, let's go here. I was sitting with him and speaking. You are a wise young man. We do not suspect you of telling lies or forgetfulness. You need to write the divine inspiration for Allah's apostle. I mean, he used to. Okay. Then he says, okay, this is my question right here, you guys. What does it mean when it says, therefore, look for the Quran and collect it? You mean, wasn't it already in, look, this is in the hadith, guys. Therefore, look for the Quran, collect it into one manuscript. You mean the Quran wasn't collected? It wasn't in one manuscript? Okay, and then listen. And then by Allah, nothing could be harder for me if he had told me to move a mountain regarding what he said about the collection of the Quran. I said to both of them, how dare you do a thing which the Prophet has not done? So Muhammad had not collected the Quran. But Abu Bakr and Omar, look, both of them said, look what Abu Bakr says, because Abu Bakr responds to him, by Allah, it is really a good thing. So I kept on arguing with him about it until Allah opened my bosom for that which he had opened the bosoms of Abu Bakr and Omar. Then listen to this, you guys. So I started locating Quran material and collecting it from parchments, scapula, leaf stalks, date palms, and from the memories of men who knew it by heart. So my question, okay, I want a sheikh to come on and tell me. So is this where the Quran was, on leaves, parchments, leather, and the memories of men? That's how Allah preserved the Quran for that time between the time Muhammad died and the time that it was written down? Look what it says here too. I found with Khuzaymah 2 verses of Surah At-Tawbah which I had not found with anyone else. How come, if the Quran is, how come perfect memories, how come nobody else had it? Only Khuzaymah had it. And let's read it. Okay, verily there has come to you an apostle from Allah amongst yourselves. It grieves him that you should receive injury or difficulty. He is ardently anxious over you. Yeah. Okay, the manuscript on which the Quran was collected remained with Abu Bakr, and Allah took him unto him, and then with Omar until Allah took him unto him, and finally it remained with Hafsa, Omar's daughter. Sahih al-Bukhari. So he compiled it from the memories, from the bones, from the sticks, from the leaves, from the leather, and he put it together and he gave it to Hafsa. Okay. And then, okay, and this right here is an issue about the number of memorizers who died. It says during the Battle of Yamama, 450 reciters of the Quran were killed. Okay. So, okay. So here we had this Quran, and it was given to Hafsa. And then for about 10 years, it remained under Hafsa's bed. Because, you know, Hafsa took it and she kept it in her bed, under her bed. And so, you know, the question kind of becomes, okay, Eric's doing a show. Well, I won't be that long, and then I'll go to Eric's show too. The question kind of becomes, why was it kept under her bed for all that time? Why was it kept? I mean, if it's, why did it stay under her bed for all that time? Where, what, wasn't it so important that everybody wanted to have it? Why was it kept under her bed? This is my question, okay? This is one of my questions. Why Quran kept under Hafsa's bed for that long, and not collect, and I mean, and the people, were not, they didn't have a Quran at that time. So how could Hafsa have kept it? I mean, if this is the original Quran, the way that Abu Bakr and Umar and Zayd bin Thabit believed, how come it wasn't available to the people? Why wasn't it available? Why was it hid under her bed for 10 years? Why was it left in her house for 10 years? And, you just got to wonder, you say, what, didn't anybody ask, say, hey, wait a minute, we need a Quran. Why is it that they kept it underneath her bed for all that time? And they didn't, just think about it. I mean, how important is the Quran to the Muslims? How important is the Quran to Muslims? How come it stayed under her bed for all that time and nobody said, hey, wait a minute, we need the Quran. It's, you have to memorize it and memorize all the surahs and everything like that. How could they have compiled it, and then hid it under her bed for all those years, and nobody even say, hey, we need the Quran. Say, can you give us the Quran? I mean, did anybody ask her for it? If this is the only one, you guys. This went from, Zayd wrote it, and went from Abu Bakr till he died, and then it went to Omar till he died, and he gave it to his daughter Hafsa, and it stayed there, and you wonder, it was put under her bed. I mean, didn't anybody say, hey, you got the scriptures, you got the holy book, didn't anybody care? Wasn't anybody looking for it? I'd like you to answer these questions for me. Wasn't anybody looking for the Quran? Wasn't anybody looking for it at the time? You got to wonder what was wrong. Why did they not go look for it? Okay, we have somebody here named Stephen, and I'm not sure who Stephen is, but you guys, my internet sucks here, and I've said it a billion times, but I keep saying I'm going to get my own, so I'm going to, you guys. I'm going to get my own internet. Stephen, I don't know if you wanted to come on. Please try again. I'm sorry, my internet sucks. And that's why. But come on, Stephen, if you want to, maybe you have answers about this. I'd like to hear it if you do. Okay. And in the meantime, Stephen, please come on again. And yeah, Slam RN says, and there's two verses of the Quran that were under Aisha's bed. The whole Quran was under Hafsa's bed, but the two verses there were two surahs or two verses under Aisha's bed. The ones under Aisha's bed were about breastfeeding adult men, and then the one about stoning adulteresses, and those two were eaten by the goat. And so those two verses were eaten by the goat. So I wasn't really wanting to get into that, just because there are so many of these stories and these issues with the Quran that show that it was not perfectly preserved. So, there was a guy named Steven who came on. I'd like you to come on if you're still watching. I know my internet is weak, but please try to come on again if you can. And Sheikh Imran, if you're there, if you're Muslim, I'd love for you to come on because I would like to ask you these questions. Okay, let me show you the 4 questions that I have so far. Number 1, from the hadith. This is all from the hadith that we've been reading. How could 2 caliphs say that the Quran may be lost? Didn't Allah give it? Doesn't Allah preserve it? Isn't that what the Quran teaches? And then Omar says it'll be lost unless you collect it. Well, I thought Allah preserves it. I thought Allah preserves it from being lost. How could Omar bin Khattab say it'll be lost unless you collect it? And then Zayd ibn Thabit is told, look for the Quran. Look for the Quran. How do you look for the Quran? I thought it was there. I've been told the Quran is perfect. It came down perfectly. Allah preserved it. How can they be looking for the Quran? Was it not there? Was there no Quran back then? And then why was the Quran under Hafsa's bed for all those years and nobody looked for it? How come nobody looked for it? Sheikh Imran, those are da'if. Sahih al-Bukhari is da'if. Sheikh Imran says those are da'if. Is Sahih al-Bukhari da'if? You look with your heart. You look with your heart for the Quran. Okay, but I know that's very nice sounding. It's very poetic and everything like that, Sheikh Imran. But that's very poetic and everything. But that Allah says that the Quran was okay. I was taught, Sheikh Imran, that the Quran is perfectly preserved. I was taught that the Quran is perfectly preserved, that Allah preserved it and He kept it, and to where nobody can change the Quran. That's what I was taught. And that to this day, the Quran we have is the Quran that came to Muhammad. That's the Quran that came to Muhammad. It came from Jibreel to the Sahaba and Uthman and everything. And the Quran is perfectly preserved. It can never be changed. Every dot, every letter is perfect. That's what I was taught, Sheikh Imran. Sheikh Imran, this is what I was taught. Was that a lie? You look into your heart. You look into your heart. So when he tells him, he tells Zayd ibn Thabit, go look for the Quran. Where does he look? He looks in his heart. What kind of an answer is that? It's ridiculous. Are you serious? Are you serious? Not a single dot has been changed. It's as Jibreel told. I think you're laughing. I think you're making fun of me, Sheikh Imran. I think you're making fun of me. It says not a dot has been changed. Okay. Well, then I want you to talk to me about this. Just 2 different Qur'ans. Okay. Qur'ans. Darn it. Okay. Here's 2 different Qur'ans. Okay. Al-Habs and the Warsh. Okay, Sheikh Imran, not a single dot has been changed. Jibreel told me so. Oh, you know what? I think Sheikh Imran is not a Christian. I mean, not a Muslim. I don't know. But anyway, whether you are or not, I'll just, based on what you're saying, there's just 1 dot that's a problem in this verse. Okay, because in the Hafs, it's Humma Abad ar-Rahman, talking about the angels. Humma Abad ar-Rahman. They are the slaves of Allah. But when you move that 1 dot that can never be changed to the top, it becomes Humma Ind ar-Rahman. And so it changes from Humma Abad ar-Rahman to Humma Ind ar-Rahman. Now, which one is perfect, as Jibreel told you? Okay. I kind of get the feeling that Sheikh Imran is a Christian, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know who he is. But, those are pronunciation. Habibi, Habib Albi, Habib Albi. Those are pronunciation. Listen, Sheikh Imran, Humma Abad ar-Rahman. Do you speak Arabic? Do you speak Arabic? This isn't a pronunciation, Habibi. These are different words with different meaning. Humma Abad ar-Rahman. 1 dot. Humma Abad ar-Rahman means they are slaves of the Most Gracious. Humma Ind ar-Rahman. They are with the Rahman, means they are with the Merciful. That's not just pronunciation. That's different words. Abad means slaves. Ind means with. So which one is on the Luh al-Mahfud? Which one is from Allah? Which, it's different words with different meaning. Which one is the Quran? Which one is right? And then, thank you, Adam Seeker points out another important point. There were no dots. That's another issue. There were no dots back then, Sheikh Imran. There were no dots. Okay? The Uthman didn't put any dots or vowels. They had to come back 100 years later. And there was a guy named Al-Duwali. He's the one who came and started putting dots. You studied at Al-Azhar University. بتحكي عربي يعني. إذا درست في جامعة الأزهر بتعني إنك بتحكي عربي. قل لي, please tell me, ما تهرب دخيل الله ما تهربش. ليش هذه بتقول هم عند الرحمن وهذه بتقول هم عباد الرحمن? Please tell me, Sheikh, if you studied at Al-Azhar University, if you did, tell me, why does one of them say Humma Abad al-Rahman and one says Humma Ind al-Rahman? That's not just a pronunciation. These are different words. The dots. The dots were not revealed yet. So you guys, that's really funny, man. Sheikh Imran. And you studied English in Al-Azhar. Oh, Sheikh. So Sheikh Imran, is he messing with me here? I passed with the D-. Okay. Well, I don't know if Sheikh Imran is, but I'm showing you, Sheikh Imran, we got two different Qur'ans, and I can show you many, 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 many more differences if you really care. I'd love for you to come on. I would like for you to answer some of these questions for me. Sheikh Imran, would you come on? I don't know where that Stephen was. There was a guy named Stephen. I wish you'd come again. I don't know. My questions that I have so far, I got more questions, but these are the ones that I have so far. This is from the Abu Bakr and Umar at the Battle of Yamama, where it says, how could two caliphs, the two first caliphs, Umar and Abu Bakr, said that if the Quran is not collected, it may be a great part of it may be lost. How could a part of the Quran be lost? How could the Quran be lost? I was told these books are from Allah, and He preserves it. I think Sheikh Imran is messing with us, but he knows some stuff. It's amazing. He does know some stuff, not enough to be useful, but enough to be interrupting. Oh, he's okay. Thanks, Adam. These are the two big guys. These are the first two caliphs. How could they say, according to the hadith, they said a large part of the Quran could be lost? How could it be lost? Isn't it say that Allah preserves the Quran? Doesn't it say Allah? I mean, I'm telling you guys this because this is what I believed. This is what I was taught. Was I taught a lie? Is it a lie that Allah preserves the Quran? Does chapter 15, verse 9 not apply to the Quran? Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikr wa nahnu lihafidun. We sent down the dhikr and we preserve it. Is that a lie? Another thing, Umar says, unless you collect it, it'll be lost. So it's man's job to preserve the Quran? I thought it was Allah's job to preserve the Quran. I thought it can't be changed because Allah. How could Umar say, unless you collect it? So that Umar is saying that man preserves the Quran, not Allah. How could that be? I thought Allah preserves the Quran. Another thing, they tell Zayd ibn Thabit, look for the Quran. Look for the Quran. That means it didn't exist. What does it mean, look for the Quran? And another thing he says, that they compiled it from all the bones and the leaves, and then they put it under Hafsa's bed for 10 years. It was left there under Hafsa's bed. And one thing I'm wondering is, why under Hafsa's bed? Why didn't anybody come look for it? I mean, didn't anybody want the Quran? Wasn't everybody like, hey, we need the Quran. It's the essential part of our faith. It's one of the six pillars of, not pillars, but six beliefs of Aqidah of the Islam is the Kutub. And so the Quran is so important to Islam. How nobody came looking for it all that time, and that question. And if you're a sheikh, I want you to come and answer. Okay. Let's see what Adam's. Because her bed is on. Adam, you're going to get me into trouble, man. My relative, I'm already in trouble, man. So I am Aisha. Brackets are from Allah. Okay, let's see. Sheikh Hamdan. Okay, you definitely do not know Arabic. You do not know English either. You're insulting my mama. Battle via mama. I know that's a issue. Okay. Anyway, I want to read now what Umran did, because I have some questions. I have questions about the three first caliphs, about Abu Bakr, Abu Umar, and about Uthman. This is where the headaches really begin. And I want a sheikh to come on and tell me what this means. Come answer my questions. Tell me what this means, okay? Let's just read it together, and I'll tell you the questions as we're reading it, okay? Now, again, this is from Sahih al-Bukhari, the Da'if. Da'if al-Bukhari. Da'if al-Bukhari. Okay. Hudhayfa bin al-Yaman came to Uthman at a time when the people of Sham and the people of Iraq were waging war to conquer Armenia and Azerbaijan. Okay. Hudhayfa was afraid of the people of Sham and Iraq's differences in the recitation of the Quran. Okay, so what we have here is different recitations of the Quran between Iraq and Sham. Okay, so about that, you guys. My internet. So sorry about that. I'm gonna get my own so that we don't have to do this anymore. Okay, back to Sahih al-Bukhari. Okay, it says because there was different recitations between Iraq and Syria, and you guys look at what the danger here. Sham is like Syria, Palestine, and Iraq. Differences in the recitation of the Quran. So he said to Uthman, "O chief of the believers, save the nation before they differ about the book, the Quran, as Jews and Christians did before. Save the nation. How could they differ about the book? I thought there was only one book, but there's apparently not more." So Uthman sent a message to Hafsa. 10 years later, nobody had asked Hafsa about this book to try to resolve all these issues. Until now. Finally, after all these years, book that was under Hafsa's bed, that nobody asked about, nobody cared about, nobody came knocking on the door saying, "We need copies." It said, go say copy. No, they didn't. bunch of different Qur'ans going out all over the place, and it came to the point that the people wanted to fight and kill each other because of the different recitation. That's what he says. Hudayfa was afraid the people of Sham and Iraq differences in the recitation of the Quran. And then he says, listen, save the nation before they differ about the book. So, you know, the danger of a split, which happened anyway, because of these differences. So he's okay. Then let's see what Uthman did. He said, "Send us the manuscripts of the Quran so that we compile the Quranic material." Sorry, guys. I hate this internet, man. Shoot. Sorry about this, you guys. It's disgusting. It makes me so mad. And I know it's my fault. Dude. Okay, sorry about this, you guys. Okay. Let's do this again. Okay, here we are. Here we are. Okay. Okay, here we are. Sorry about this, you guys. Okay, then it says, okay, so Uthman sent message to Hafsa. Okay, first person to ask about this book under her bed. Send us the manuscripts of the Quran so we may compile the Quranic materials in perfect copies and return the manuscripts to you. Okay, here's a couple of perfect copies. I mean, you know what's interesting to me is that he knew where the Quran was. He knew it was under Hafsa's bed. It takes so long for him to do anything about it, you know? And it's just interesting to me that he, you know, he waits until, you know, him and tells him all this before he does anything. He waits so long. Why did he wait so long to why did he wait so long to do anything? You know, you just got to ask, you guys, and you know what? It doesn't get any better. Let's. Okay. So he went. He's, dude, I think either Satan hates this subject or I just got sucky internet, or both. Okay. Okay. So Uthman sent a message to Hafsa saying, "Send us the manuscripts of the Quran so we may compile the materials in perfect copies and return the manuscripts to you." So he knew exactly where it was. He knew exactly where the Quran was. He's the third caliph, you know. And then it says Hafsa sent it to Uthman. Uthman then ordered Zayd ibn Thabit. Okay, again the same guy, Zayd ibn Thabit. Okay, Abdullah bin Zubair. Okay, this guy's okay, Zayd ibn al-As and Abdurrahman ibn Harith ibn Hisham. What? To rewrite the manuscripts in perfect copies. You know, you keep seeing this issue. Perfect copies. Perfect copies. So all of a sudden, you know, the perfect Quran is the one that Hafsa had. and he knew it all this time and didn't do nothing, and then all of a sudden now he wants perfect copies, perfect copies. And then, but listen, Uthman said to the three Qurayshi men, listen, you guys, to this. In case you disagree with Zayd ibn Thabit on any point in the Quran, write it in the dialect of Quraysh. I want a sheikh to come answer this for me. Okay? I want a sheikh to answer this. If you disagree with Zayd ibn Thabit on any point in the Quran, write it in the dialect of Quraysh. Is the Quran perfect? Is it perfectly preserved? How could they be disagreement between them and Zayd ibn Thabit? And he says, if there's any disagreement, to write it in the dialect of Quraysh. So how many Qur'ans was there? How many dialects was there? We already showed you, I haven't shown you, is that Muhammad said it was written it came down in 7 dialects. And it says, if there's any disagreement, write it in the dialect of Quraysh. This isn't how I was told the Quran. This isn't what I was told about the Quran. I wasn't told that these 4 men agreed amongst themselves what to put into it. And if there was disagreement, they said, okay, do this. That means that Zayd could have written something. Zayd could have written something when he was copying, and the other guys disagreed and says, no, let's write it this way. And Uthman, the 3rd caliph, is the one who came up with this idea. So Uthman is telling them to harraf the Quran, to change the Quran. How could that be? I want a sheikh to tell me, how could Uthman say to Zayd, write it in the Qurayshi, to those 3 guys in Qurayshi dialect if there's disagreement? How, if the Quran is perfect, every dot, every letter, every harf, everything is perfect, how could there be disagreements about it? Number one. And then how could he tell those guys, write it in the dialect of Quraysh if you disagree with Zayd? That means there's ikhtilaf in the Quran. There's different Qur'ans. That means that whatever they wrote isn't what Muhammad said. It's not what was on the bones and the leaves. Okay. So he says, if you see, this is a big problem, guys. In case you disagree with Zayd ibn Thabit on any point in the Quran, then write it in the dialect of Quraysh. The Quran was revealed in the tongue. But you guys, it gets worse. You know why? They did so. So they did what Uthman said, meaning that when they disagreed, they wrote it in the Qurayshi dialect. And so who knows what they got. When they had written many copies, Uthman returned the original manuscript. Okay, sent to every Muslim province of what they had copied, and ordered that all other Quranic materials, whether written in fragmentary manuscripts or whole copies, be burnt. Time post became all righteous and became all religion. They carry religion. When but here it says on all. Listen to what I've amended here. Look, all Quranic materials, whether written in fragmentary manuscript or whole copies, be burned. Dude, this is the Caliph who did that. This is the Caliph who did that. And you're wondering, you're saying, 3 camels a month. Sheikh Hamdan, you're funny. Um, and you're right. I am Aisha about the 7 dialects, but there's not just 7 dialects. There's also the 10 qira'at. There's sab'a ahruf. It's called the sab'a ahruf, and then there's ashara qira'at. So there's 7 modes. 7 modes. Who knows what those are? Nobody knows what those are. Nobody knows what those are. The sab'a ahruf, nobody knows what they are. And the explanations they have are ridiculous about them. Even Yasser Qadi admits we don't have a clue. There's holes in the narrative. And then there's the 10 recitation. Ashara qira'at. Ashara qira'at. And so there's 17 Qur'ans right there. Sab'a ahruf, ashara qira'at. But we were told there's one. We were told there's one. How can there be 17? How could there be 17 Qur'ans? Why not burn? Why he not burn Hafza's Qur'an? Very good question. Why didn't he burn Hafza's Qur'an? That's a good question. Yes, it doesn't just suck today; it sucks all the time on my internet here. So anyway, so I just got a question. I got these questions for a sheikh. I want a sheikh to come on, and I want him to answer me about these issues. Okay, how could Uthman? Now this is the Quran from the Lawh al-Mahfuz, the perfect Quran, the word of Allah, the unchanged. How could Uthman burn them? And it doesn't just say that he burned them. It says that he ordered that all other Quran materials be burned. He ordered that they be burned. You guys, how could that? That means they had that bunch of different Qurans. How could it be that they had so many different Qurans when there's only one Quran? Is there one, or is it 2? Is it sab'a ahruf? Is it ashar qira'at? Is it 17 different Qurans? Is it the 37 that we know about right now, or more? Is it the Hafs? Is it the Warsh? Is it the Susi? Is it the Dudi? Al-Kalun? You guys, if you were taught that there's one Quran, like I was taught there was one Quran, just read this story. Read this out of Sahih al-Bukhari. I didn't make this up. Read about the Battle of Yamama and what happened with Abu Bakr and Umar. Read about Uthman and what happened with Zayd ibn Thabit. He's a very interesting person. He was Jewish and converted to Islam, and he's very instrumental in the preservation of the Quran, or the writing of the Quran, or collecting or compiling of the Quran. It's very interesting. He was there during Abu Bakr and Umar, and he was there during Uthman. So anyway, just some questions. I would like a sheikh to come on. I would like a sheikh to come on and answer me. I would like a sheikh to come on and tell me, to answer these questions for me. Tell me, what does this mean? What does this mean here? I know I'm going to get more questions. As I think about this, I'm going to think about some other questions. And, think about why, how could this be? Just because this goes against what I was taught. This goes against what I was taught. I was taught the Quran is perfect, perfectly preserved, every dot. It came down and Allah preserved it. And then all of a sudden, two caliphs, the first two, said the Quran may be lost. How could the Quran be lost? Doesn't Allah preserve it? And then, Umar says, unless you collect it, it'll be lost. So everything was put on Zayd ibn Thabit to collect it, or else it'll be lost. Where Allah's word is lost, the eternal word of Allah, the Quran, will be lost. Doesn't Allah preserve it? Apparently not, because it says that unless you collect it. And these are Sahih al-Bukhari, you guys. Number 1 hadith, the highest hadith there is. So anyway, you guys, just some questions to think about today about what Uthman did. Okay, and I think I want to end it just because every time we talk about this, I always like to show video of Yasir Qadi, because I know Muslims a lot of times they say, well, it's the Sab'a Qira'at, Sab'a Haruf and all this stuff. But you know what? That's not a guaranteed explanation anymore. And according to Yasir Qadi, there's holes in this narrative. So let's listen to what he says about this.
Every single student of knowledge knows, who studies Ulum al-Quran, that the most difficult topics are Ahruf and Qira'at. And the concept of Ahruf and the reality of Ahruf and the relationship of the Uthmanic Mus'haf with the Ahruf and the preservation of the Ahruf. Is it 1? Is it 3? Is it 7? And the relationship of the Qira'at to the Ahruf. This is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out. And you don't fully comprehend. When you do a deep dive is when things get very, very awkward and difficult. And this isn't new. This is from the time of the Sahaba. This is not a joke, brothers and sisters. The issue of Ahruf and Qira'at caused confusion to somebody whom the Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to listen to the Quran directly, listen to Ubay. Ubay is not some even average Sahabi. He is the Qari of the Quran. He is the master. He is who he is. And he goes, فَدَخَلْ فِي نَفْسِي شَكْ. What is all of this stuff? Again, this is you're asking some very honest questions. It's the first time I'm saying these things. Many people are aware who listen to my lectures that I've mentioned the crises that happened to me at Yale. This was the issue. That the issue of ahruf and preservation and qira'at and relationships between them, these are very, very difficult issues. And the most advanced of our scholars, they're not quite fully certain how to solve all of the unanswered questions in there. Here's the point. These issues should only be discussed amongst people who know what the qira'at are and who understand some of these questions that are being raised.
So is what you're saying the shak that came, or not the shak, but the crisis